Oh, let me call Dave too.
Hello.
Hi, we're going to call it to order.
Okay.
Okay, good morning, everyone. March 13th. Unfortunately, we had to call this emergency meeting about the parade. Yesterday, we were all kind of on the fence. We want to support the town. We want to have the parade go on, but this is a real fast-moving deal. So last night, I made a few inquiries. This morning, I woke up and Governor Walz is going to make a statement at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and I'm anticipating it to be no more gathering of larger than 50 people. But last night, I talked to a lot of people about a lot of things. And last night at 10 o'clock, I made a text emergency room doctor friend of mine, and asked him what his opinion was. He called me back, and we talked for about 20 minutes, and he told me that we got to keep moving on. Have the parade, keep going. Then I got a text from him at 11:56 last night, and I just want to read that. Hey, I don't want to identify the guy, but I want to read it. He says, I couldn't find any revisions of risk assessment from the last couple days, so it's probably low. But that is going to change. A lot of us are going to get corona. The medical community is pretty sure people at risk for mortality are the elderly and immune suppressed. But it's a novel virus and we don't know a lot about it. So there is something bordering hysteria sweeping over the country. Disneyland is closing, Boston Marathon postponed, schools are closing. The more I think about this, the more I think you have to cancel the parade. Out of 20,000 people, let's say 50% eventually get the virus. Irrespective of the parade, they are going to get it. We think mortality is going to be 2 to 4%. 10,000 people infected, 2% means 200 people are going to die. Maybe the parade has nothing to do with it, but Cross Lake will be blamed. Irrespective of the medical issues, I don't know how the city can assume that kind of liability. Always happy to talk to you, but all things considered, I think the parade has to be canceled. So that statement at 12 o'clock last night, on top of Disneyland, Disney World, cruise ships, sports, we've got to join the bandwagon and try to stop this thing. And I think by canceling the parade is the way that we can contribute to it and try to secure our citizens in our little town as long as we can. So with that, I'm going to open it up to comments by a few, but Cindy, I would like you on behalf of the business community to be able to, you don't have to, but if you want to speak to it, I'd like you to be able to.
I can tell you, the community is going to be disappointed, of course. It's not, no one wants this virus in our community. Absolutely no one. Not the business community, not you certainly, no one. My fear is the people are coming anyway, they're already here. And now they're going to be in the businesses. I mean, are you going to ask the businesses to close? Are you going to ask the restaurants to close? Do you have a plan?
We can't do that. We can't do that. I mean, and we don't want to do that, but we all
do you
have
have
got
a plan or a recommendation for them, or?
The only thing we're going to do is try to get this out on the waves and let the public know that it is canceled so that we don't attract more people. And the people that come, I don't know, Chip, Eric, there's nothing we can do about that, is there?
It's their own personal decision whether they go out in public or not.
Well, it is if there's a parade as well. I mean, it's their own decision to come to a parade or not.
It is, and that's what we weighed on yesterday, but
I'd rather have them outside sitting on the curb than I would in the 10 restaurants that we have in this town and the hotels that we have in this town. I mean, I don't know where you're going to put these people. It's just my comments, my thoughts that they're coming. I don't know where we're going to put them. I don't know what the plan is for any of that.
Nobody has got all the answers to it, but I think in making this statement by the city, it's the best that we can do at this point. And I just feel like we have to do it,
Well, then
so.
all I can say is there's going to be disappointed people in the community and there's going to be happy people in the community, and you can't
Yeah.
please everyone all the time. And we just can do the best we can. So I guess we're going to have to make a plan going forward.
I think we have to err on the caution of the health and well-being though, and I think that's what we're doing. So that's the choice that I'm making. We haven't put it to a vote yet, but I called this meeting and that's the choice I'm making, so.
Yeah, I mean, I see it as an opportunity to get people outside. Ask them to wash their hands. Ask them to not convene. The parade route is 1.5 miles long. You know, there's 10 restaurants in this town with less square footage than that. So I guess I would just rather hear the alternate plan. I guess I'd like to hear what the plan is for all the people that are coming to town. I mean, if we're trying to mitigate the thousands of people congregating, what's the plan for that? And that's my comment.
All right. Okay, I'm going to open it up to you guys if you want to say something or go across the council here.
Parades are getting canceled all across the country. I think it's just going to be effective.
You can't talk from there.
You can talk, but you got to come up and identify yourself.
Mayor, what you said was probably the most appropriate thing is we got to err on the side of caution. As you also said, this is fast moving. As far as us being able to mitigate anything within the businesses or have a plan regarding that, not much we can do about that. I can't go into a business. I guess people just, at this point, it's their responsibility, what they want to do and how they want to do it. We will still have officers on duty tomorrow, a high presence, as I'm sure Chip will probably have his people on notice for anything that comes about. Beyond that, if the city is behind this, we stand, some responsibility for whatever happens out of this. Might be nothing, might be something, but caution right now is the best we can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a big deal, and across the country and the world, we can't stand up and say we defy that. We've got to stand in line.
Right. And I received last night a call from the sheriff and expressing his views, and he's on committees and part of things that are going to be large events that he's saying, they're going to have to be canceled. And that's, weeks out. So, I mean, he was supportive of any decision that we made. And, I mean, his whole world and how they respond to things is changing. Chip and I, after the meeting, are going to have a conversation regarding how we're going to respond to medicals and how we are going to have to change our ways of doing things. We have to, not have 8 first responders at a medical now, where we're going to have to limit how many people we're going to send in and how we respond to the medicals. Ambulances are doing the same thing. As far as we got emails, I know you received it also last night, and probably Chip too, from somebody saying, how are we going to quarantine people? Well, what we're going to do is respond to a medical, and they go to a facility where they're quarantined. That doesn't fall on the city of Cross Lake to make those decisions. So it's just a matter of all of us having to make some change right now. And as far as the parade is concerned, everyone else is canceling. I feel horrible about it. I don't want to. I mean, if this is what people are saying, media hype, I hate to fall under that, but we don't know for sure yet. Like we said, it's fast moving. So.
Well, and I think one thing is Minnesota is low impact right now for the coronavirus, and I think if we can do anything to contribute to that and help that stay that way, I think we got to do it.
From
So-
Tuesday till now, we've gone from 3 to 9, so we've gone
Right.
3 times the amount, and still, it's just 9. But it's just 9, and how much?
But if you look
Have
at
they
the way the
affected
chain
others?
letters explode and however, I mean, I'm not,
Right.
yeah. Okay,
I don't know if
thanks.
Chip has anything to add, or?
Thanks, Eric.
I agree with Eric. A little bit more into the detail of the sheriff and emergency manager. They were going to call us this morning and tell us that they suggest for us to cancel it. So they're following some of the Department of Health and the CDC. So other than that, our operations are, we're going to be changing our operations to medicals. As Eric said, we're going to limit the amount of people that are entering the structure. The dispatch is doing a little more medical history when they get the call from the person that is ill. They're going to get a little more information. So, and we also have our decon and our protective PPE in place for these types of calls. So, in regards to how we're going to contain it in businesses, that's not up to us. Everybody has their free will of what they want to do. Everybody's trying to be cautious on that. At this point, they're not shutting down businesses anywhere. So, life goes on. But like Eric said, something happens up here, somebody gets it, they're just going to look at the city rather than, you know, the chamber or anybody else. It'll fall upon the city of Cross Lake. So I agree with your decision.
Thank you, Chip.
Chip, I got a question for you. Do we have any way to test these people that you're going into, or they
No.
has to go to the hospital, or what?
They'll have to go to the hospital at this point.
Okay.
John, before the meeting, I wanted to ask you,
Any chance I can speak?
Yes. You're on.
Oh, I'm on. Hi, this is Dave Schrupp. Yesterday when we talked, I was on the bubble, and I certainly understand the impact to businesses, but the message is coming down from a lot of places, and if it's coming down from the governor, then we have to step in line with whatever the recommendations of the governor are, whatever he's going to say, and then I think it's going to be up to the citizens to make their decision. I think there's more here than just the business that's going to be lost at our local businesses. I don't think we want to make a decision that's going to increase the risk to people that could possibly die or contract the illness. There's going to be many more years for the parade. Maybe the group can have another parade at a different time the rest of the year, but no one really knows how long this is going to last, and I think it's going to be a bad time for everybody to hunker down. So if in fact the governor is going to make a recommendation this afternoon, I think we have to follow whatever he's going to say.
and I think in not waiting until this afternoon, it gives people more time to plan. So that's kind of,
Right.
we're taking a proactive look at it. Thank you, Dave. John, I'd like to hear what you think about that. You're a medical background guy.
My thoughts are, from the medical point of view today, to me, the things are very the same as yesterday. We've had no person-to-person transmission documented in Minnesota. Minnesota Department of Health has been doing fabulous jobs of contact tracing since the early 70s, so they've had 40 years of doing this type of work. None of the cases are in northern Minnesota, so scientifically, I feel we're the same as yesterday. What is changed is you're getting some information from the governor. We're having more sports events canceled. Right now, we are not overwhelming the healthcare system locally because we don't have any cases that we know of. We're hearing that there's still a shortage of testing even in the cities. Mayo Clinic has come out this morning that within the next week or more, they hope to have test kits available. They already have released them to Mayo providers, and they hope in the next week or so to get test kits to others. So hopefully we'll have more kits to local hospitals and things. I only got one nasty gram last night. And I can easily see that the city of Cross Lake could be on the hook for, in terms of political, if people say, well, I was at parade in Cross Lake. They can still say they're in Cross Lake, but if we're making a statement that we're canceling a parade, I see that as basically a political decision, but I'm not against it. So I would vote for canceling the parade. But people will still be here. Many of them are here already, and they may be more likely to go in the bars and be outside. but I think we're making a statement that we're going along with the governor and sheriff and whatever, and I support that.
Gary, do you have a comment?
My only comment is I made it yesterday. I was on the fence yesterday. 3 people voted in front of me to have it. I wasn't going to do, there was really no point in me saying no. I think it should have been, my feeling on it is we don't want to bring it in here if we don't have to. If people want to go into bars, I can't stop them.
Okay. Aaron?
I think it's all been said already, so all I do is add to the length of the meeting.
I guess because we don't have a busting at the walls, I'm going to ask, does anybody else want to comment on this before we take a vote?
I just have one more thing to say. I'm going to need something to tell the business community. If you all think that this is going to come down to community spread because there's people at the parade, I don't know how that's not going to happen when they're in our shops and restaurants and so forth, and the hotels. They're full. I don't know how many people are going to cancel their reservations. I mean, I can certainly cancel the people coming to the parade. That's not the problem. But I mean, if the fear here is community spread, we're going to need some message to these businesses to contain the situation. And I don't know what that is, but I think, you know, there's more to it than just the parade. Again, it's a mile and a half.
Cindy, I agree there is a lot. I guess if I were to make a statement to that by canceling it this morning, 24 hours before it's supposed to start, it's going to let people from out of the area know that it is canceled. And if that's the sole reason they're coming up, they may not come. So that is going to lessen it in itself. It's going to bring fewer people in. And I think, I don't know what they're doing with all the NBA basketball tickets and the Disneyland cruise ships and whatever, but it is a dilemma that we don't have the answers to them right now. But we're just kind of following suit. We're doing the same thing as everybody else is in the country. And I feel really uncomfortable to try to step off that center line and do something different and say we're special and we can allow this to happen. I don't have the answers for it other than there's a lot of people trying to figure out a lot of things right now. But I would rather err on the side of caution.
And you don't know what the governor's going to say.
I don't. But I've got some information, but I mean, it's not, I think he's going to limit it to gatherings over 50 people, but that's not out till 2 o'clock. So I'm kind of speculating on that, although I was told that, but we got to wait till 2 o'clock to find out.
Okay.
And I don't know if he's going to say if it's inside or outside, you know, but it's not an easy call, believe me. Does anybody else want to comment? Are you going to take a roll call vote?
Yes.
All right, Char.
You need a motion.
I make a motion, we cancel the parade.
I'll second it.
Dave Schrupp.
I agree.
Aye.
Nevin.
I agree.
Heacock.
I agree.
Andrews.
Agree.
Motion carries, all in favor.
Now, how do we get the information out, I guess is going to
It'll
be
get
my
out.
question.
We're going to post it on our Facebook pages and our website. We have a paper here who will get it probably on their website. Word of mouth.
This is not an easy decision, everybody, from all of us, but I think we have to do it, so. Meeting is adjourned.
Adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in
Aye.
favor, aye.